Hey folks, welcome back to the third Buffs Country podcast of the week. And this time we are classing up the joint because we have somebody here who might be able to make a difference in the world, and that is Mr. Richard Murray, who is running to be a regent in Colorado, and he's going to be in the Republican primary on June 30th for Colorado's 6th congressional district. He's going to be running against Priscilla Ron, and then they're going to see if they can face off against a Democrat in the November general election. And we didn't bring him on because we agree with his politics or this or that, or that he got the Buffs Country the stamp of approval on because he has talked about this, a football first and athletics, and how to make those get to the top. And he wants to be a regent who believes in the athletic program. And that's why we are thankful to have Mr. Richard Murray on our program today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So Richard, first question, just what made you want to run for regent?
Sure. So I'm a two-time alum of CU, did my undergrad degree at CU. Did my law degree at CU. I was a tri-exec or a student body president of the Boulder campus. And I've been bleeding black and gold for 20 years. My wife's a CU grad as well. I am everything I am because of the University of Colorado, the experiences I had there, the education I received, the contacts I made, the doors it opened for me. And so when the opportunity arose here in Congressional District 6 with an open seat, I thought now was the best time to throw my name in the ring and try to make a difference and try to pay it forward to my alma mater.
And you've said that you want to be a regent who supports the athletic program. What does that mean to you?
Sure. So CU athletics is near and dear to my heart and my family. We take all of both of our kids, our 5-year-old daughter, our 7-year-old son, to the basketball games, to football games. We're longtime season ticket holders. We're Buff Club members. Some of my fondest memories on that campus were literally on Folsom Field. Going down onto the field after a big game. And I want the program to return to the excellence it once had. We've had up and down years. We've had up and down coaches, for that matter. And I really would love to see our program competing at the national championship level like it did in the 90s. I don't see any reason why without the campus, without Boulder as the backdrop, without the facilities, the coaches, and having a board of regents who is fully on board and unanimously approving this course of action, which is, I think, extremely important. We can get to that. There's no reason why we shouldn't be playing in the Rose Bowl.
What do you think a regent can do for that, though?
So, one of the biggest hurdles I see right now is the no votes, right? I think it makes it extremely difficult for an athletic director like Rick George, who does a phenomenal job, who needs to go out onto the national market and find a coach where we're competing with conferences that have a lot more money and schools that get a lot more money from those, from the conference payouts. So having the board of regents fully on board, I think will assist in that it takes away a hurdle. I mean, I think it'd make it really difficult for an athletic director to go out and say, I want to hire you. Well, you might not get, full support of all of the people who are going to be approving your contract. We just saw this at the last Board of Regents meeting. Mm-hmm. We had 6 football coach contracts go up. Shiverini's contract, or his renewed contract, and then 5 assistant coaches, and they were packaged as one vote, and it was a 7-2 vote. There was no discussion as why the 2 no's were the no's. We all know, from history why. But those really should have been 9-0 votes. There was no reason for there to be any no's there. It's just I'm speechless when it comes to it, actually, as you can tell.
So, if you were able to become a regent and you're up against them and you're having these meetings and you're not going to have Linda Shoemaker there, but you probably will have Jack Kroll, and,
Right.
and whoever does replace Linda Shoemaker could possibly be against football as well. Do you think you can convince them in the meetings to vote yes?
I mean, it's possible. I can guarantee you that if we don't hold this seat, and there's a person who is not a pro athletics regent in the 6th congressional district, that it's just going to become a slippery slope, because then they'll feel more emboldened in their positions. It won't just be 2 no votes. You maybe 3, maybe you get a 4th, and who knows? It just takes away the competitive edge that the University of Colorado should have when it goes out to recruit coaching staff.
So when did you go to CU? When did you graduate? Both times, actually.
Sure. So I was there from 2000 to 2007. I went straight through from undergrad to law school and completed my undergrad in 2004.
Okay, so you've been, I guess, yeah, you had a pretty good undergrad, I guess. It's not, it wasn't quite the 90s, but at least there was some big.
Was that the Gary Barnett years?
It was the Gary Barnett year. So we had so Coach Barnett, 4 out of the 5 years won the Big 12 North. I went down with college friends for the Big 12 championship game against Texas in 2001, where we won. And then I went to the Fiesta Bowl that year, which was our only BCS game in the BCS era. And unfortunately, we lost to Oregon in that game. But yeah, those were great years. 62-36 Nebraska game at home. Those were great years. And winning. Even though we weren't winning conference championships every time we got to the championship game, we were still getting to the championship game and getting out of the Big 12, our division in the Big 12. So now we're in a different conference and different dynamics, but we should be able to compete in the Pac-12 South like we did a handful of years ago.
In 2016.
2016, right?
Yeah, everybody remembers 2016. They didn't win it that year, but at least they were in the championship and we all had that fun. What do you remember about the 62-36 game? Was that your freshman year?
So that would have been my sophomore year.
Sophomore year, okay.
And just pandemonium, I suppose. And then the Big 12 championship game was a kind of a surreal experience because we were technically the home team, but we were playing Texas in Dallas. And there was about 90% of the stadium, of the old Texas stadium, was in burnt orange, and we had a little sliver in the end zone of gold. And all the Texas fans there had roses behind their ears because they thought they were going to go to the Rose Bowl, and it was fun to rain on that parade.
So, talking about you were there for a pretty successful portion of the football team. What does a good football team, what does a winning football team do for a university in your mind?
I mean, for one thing, and I haven't pulled the direct numbers on this, but I bet if you looked at applications for admissions the years following a successful football season, I bet you see a correlation that it goes up, right? Also, it gives great pride and for the student body and the alumni base and the fans. It helps with donations and the advancement office. People, when they're happy and they're proud of their alma mater and they're watching their football team or their basketball team succeed, people are more generous in the good years than in the bad years. You always have a really good, strong fan donor base, but I feel that more people contribute in the good years. And then just national pride, having, Buff Nation in the rankings, in the polls. I feel like it gives a sense of pride for everyone who wears black and gold.
You might be able to get those admissions numbers from Jack Kroll since he works
right.
at that office.
See if he'll turn him over.
So let's see. So how long have you been going to games since you graduated?
Every year. So we've had season tickets for a long time. And, ever since, I think we might have missed 1 or 2 years right when my son was first born. But as soon as he was old enough to go to a game, we got our season tickets up and going again. So only missed a couple of seasons, in 20 years. We were still going to games. I just, I
How old is
change my seats.
How old is your son now?
He is 7.
Okay, cool. So is he starting to get really into it in some of the sports?
Oh yeah, yeah. I take him to the spring game, and we go to all the day games with the kids, and then for night games, we'll usually get a babysitter so that my wife and I can just go up and enjoy Boulder without the kids at night.
So as far over the seasons that you've had the season tickets, and have you seen a change in the University of Colorado? Would you say that Colorado right now is a sports school, and that the students and the excitement around the athletic department are still there the way they were when you were there?
I think more so now because of the basketball program.
Yeah.
Because in the early 2000s, the basketball program wasn't nearly as competitive as it is now. I mean, Tad Boyle has done a phenomenal job with that team. And so there was a time when it was free to go to a basketball game, and you just walked in with your Buff One card, and you got a soda and a hot dog for free, and then you try to lure you in to get people, the bodies in the Coors Event Center. And now we've got probably 3, 4, 5 games a season, and it's just an electric environment. The student section is awesome. Fans are coming out, and so I think now it's even more so than it was even back then.
But I mean, I understand what you're saying about the basketball program, and this might be the best era of Colorado basketball that we've seen. But in terms of our classmates, I don't know that there's the excitement around the basketball team, the football. I don't know how many people can name players if you walk around and ask them on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think at least have seen the disconnect between maybe a time when you were there and the team was winning, the team was doing well, and then right now where people are not as much into it.
Yeah, well, I think winning some division titles will probably help that.
Mm-hmm.
And and with good recruits and nationally recognized players and ranked teams, I think that will come. Our football players, our student athletes do a phenomenal job, and they always have a lot of pressure on them as well. But in the 90s, we had a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, we had Cordell Stewart. And so, when you talk about name recognition, I can't speak for the average student on campus, but
right.
With success comes notoriety. And I'll tell you, the facilities now are light years ahead of what they were in the early 2000s, with the indoor practice facility and the Champion Center. I mean, the whole addition to the Folsom Field with the suites and the club level, that wasn't even there when I was a freshman. So,
you were talking about the basketball program a little bit. I know you're a big basketball fan. I think I saw a picture on social media. You're sitting pretty much courtside. Are those your normal? Are those your normal seats?
No. Those were generously given to me from the Buff Club for the NIT last year in 2019. So I was able to take my son and sit right behind the backboard, right next to the opposing team's bench, in the row right in front of the student section.
Wow. Yeah, you probably hear a lot of good things from the student section right behind you. Huh?
They have the wittiest and classiest and well thought out and researched punchlines for the opposing team. There's a group of guys. Every game I've been to and I've sat in that area, they always have background in research, like opposition research on the players from the other bench, and they know things about their hometown and their things. And they always get some chuckles from the opposing players. It's really fun to watch.
Well, yeah. What was it? My freshman season or sophomore year? A couple of years ago, they had Malik Dime, the Washington player, go and slap one of the players. It ended up making national news. It was on Sports.
That was our freshman year. That was
yeah, one of the students.
Yeah.
Did I say players? He slapped one of the student section members. And it made national news. And it was because of all of their witty comments. I don't think they were saying anything like offensive, but they got him.
It was
they
very
got
clean.
under in a way that.
Yeah, it was very thought out, clean, no profanity, but just super funny.
Well, speaking of the basketball team, I hate to be a downer while we're having this conversation, but what do you think happened this year?
I don't know. It's there's teams in all sports go through cycles throughout the course of a season, and I'm not sure what happened. They started off the season really well. They won the tournament in Las Vegas. I think they would have had a bid to March Madness, but I guess we'll never know with the way things shook out within the season and everything ending so abruptly. But I did see that I think McKinley Wright's coming back for his senior year.
Tad seems to think so.
Okay.
It hasn't been confirmed, but Tad is talking like he's coming
back.
Okay.
I saw that recently on social media. So if he does come back, that's great. He's a phenomenal player and very integral to that team's success. So hopefully they have great success next year and they can pick up where they left off.
So we know you're a CU sports fan. What are some of the other teams you support quite a bit? Probably professionally.
Sure. Yeah. Easy. Broncos, Rockies, Avs, Nuggets. We try to take our kids to as many Rockies games as possible. They do this great thing every year, which I don't think they're going to do this year, but our kids are in the Rockies Rookies fan club, and they will let the kids go down and run the bases a couple games a year afterwards. And so they get to run around and they give Dinger a high five at like second base. And so that's always been a great family experience. And then who doesn't like going to a Broncos game?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, he didn't say Chiefs fan, so I think you'll get some votes.
No, definitely not.
Just let's go ahead and wrap it up here. But what are your election day activities? What are your plans for Tuesday?
Yeah, so normally on an election night, you would have a big event at a restaurant or somewhere public, and invite a bunch of supporters to come on down. And that's not really possible right now with everything going on. So I think we're going to keep it, some close family, friends at the house, watch the returns come in, and hopefully at the end of the night I'll have a glass of champagne.
Yeah. So you're just going to be nervous all day? You're going to be sitting around, or you're going to try to like stay active, keep your mind off of it? How does that work?
Are you going to binge watch the 90s CU football games?
Yeah, there you go. Something to keep your mind off of things.
I'll just put on the Nebraska game from 2001 on YouTube for my son. I did that a couple of weeks ago. During the day, we'll be doing some last minute, get out the vote efforts. Polls close at 7 or ballots have to be returned by 7. So, come early evening, things will be winding down, and we'll just hopefully everything goes smoothly, and come Wednesday morning I'm the nominee, and I can shift my focus over to the general election and do everything I can to protect CU.
So you have a bottle of champagne picked out for the night? I'm working at a wine store, so.
No, if you have a recommendation, I was planning on going and picking something up soon.
Yeah, we'll send some over to you.
I don't want to jinx myself.
But nothing. You're not going to crack it open until anything's confirmed. Until they make
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. So it sounds like this will be a very interesting Tuesday. I'm sure there's a lot of CU fans that will be rooting for you, and we really appreciate you coming on and telling a little bit about your story. I'm sure a lot of CU fans will appreciate it as well.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Election day is on Tuesday. Make sure you get out and vote. Richard Murray is running for the Republican primary in the 6th district in Colorado.
And unaffiliates can choose to vote on the Republican ballot. So if you're an unaffiliated voter, you could still vote for me on the primary. You just can't return both parties' ballots.
Right. Right. You have to choose between the two.
You have to choose one or the other.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah. Thank you. Go Buffs.
All right. I really appreciate that. I think that was fun.